In this presentation, we explore the paper Mamba Linear Time Sequence Modeling with Selective State Spaces, which presents a new class of structured state models, or SSMs, that enhance sequence modeling, efficiency, and effectiveness. Unlike traditional models that often struggle with input-dependent data due to their fixed computational architecture, like transformers, Mamba introduces a selective mechanism that adapts the model's hyperparameters dynamically based on input. This enables it to handle various data modalities effectively, including complex and dense data like language and genomics.
Here we can look at where originally Mamba came out of, which was trying to mimic RNN's O of 1 inference time and also CNN's O of n training time. Transformers are exceptionally good at training because they are embarrassingly parallel, but during inference, they are very, very slow, and their computational cost grows quadratically with sequence length, limiting efficiency for very long sequences. Mamba seeks to fix those problems by introducing time-invariant convolutions. And here we can see that convolution where we would take C a to the k multiplied by p, which makes the training like a CNN. During inference, however, its next output, which here is represented by y sub t, is only based on the current computed hidden state. The current computed hidden state itself is only based on the previous hidden state multiplied by a, which is a learnable matrix that represents what the hidden state needs to forget, added to x sub t, which is the input at the current hidden state, multiplied by b, which is the matrix of what it must remember from that input. Hence, it's O of 1 time complexity when trying to compute what the current input should be during inference. We can think about Mamba in particular as trying to model a sequence, whereas transformers would take the original sequence here and completely copy it over to the next sequence here, resulting in a high complexity and time cost. Mamba tries to figure out which parts of the sequence are actually critical. So it might take some certain parts of that sequence and decide they are very important and preserve that signal, whereas other parts of the signal that aren't nearly as important for generating the next output are not going to be preserved. In this way, Mamba can be far more effective with memory usage in order to generate the same high quality inputs. And because of the different weight matrices being learnable during training, it has a much easier time in making sure that the hidden state is robust compared to an RNN where the recurrent matrix is frozen after the training period is over. In addition, Mamba looks after SSM by adding on a selection mechanism to make its hidden state even more robust. It can do things like copying certain parts of the input sequence over into the hidden state. It can also do selective copying using induction heads for when it needs to look back at the sequence and have some of that information to make inferences when generating some new output. Mamba is also extremely effective due to some hardware state expansion algorithms. It was actually written by Treedow, who also wrote Flash Attention, and its optimizations are very much in the same spirit. Instead of fetching everything from HBM to then do the computations and rewrite to HBM, it fetches everything that it needs at once, loads it onto the SRAM on the GPU, does the calculations in SRAM, and then writes to the HBM, saving critical clock cycles on the GPU during training and during inference. We can also talk about some of the results from Mamba, which have been highly promising. If we look at its induction head extrapolation over time, Mamba beats every other model, including MHA, H3 or Hungry Hippos, and Hyena. Even as sequence length grows to 10 to the 6th, Mamba stays at almost 100% accuracy. If we also look, for example, at the perplexity as the flops grows, Mamba is one of the first models to be Transformer++ in perplexity, which has been a milestone people have been looking for quite a while now. Mamba is also multimodal, so it fares very, very well when looking at human genome data and also when looking at audio pre-training data. And so its multimodal nature makes it a very promising replacement for transformers.
And to conclude, Mamba represents a substantial leap forward in genomic sequence modeling, delivering transformer-like performance with linear computational complexity and faster inference times. It achieves state-of-the-art results across multiple domains like audio and genomics data by leveraging a selective SSM architecture that extends to sequences of up to 1 million events. This flexibility, combined with its linear time complexity, positions Mamba as a formidable alternative to existing industry-leading models, especially in applications where long sequence data is prevalent. Future research could explore further optimizations in hardware utilization and model parameter tuning to enhance Mamba's efficiency and applicability in more real-world scenarios.